The history of the Fintry Queen. Eli LeQueen moved to the Okanagan Mission in 1861. He started a store on his ranch, as well as operated the first blacksmith shop, post office, and hotel saloon. Eli and his wife Marie had 2 sons, Bernard and Leon, who were responsible for laying out and developing the original town site of Kelowna in 1892. The brothers opened their first general store across from the steamer landing area, as it was the ideal location. However, after a series of fires in 1904, the brothers moved their general store 1 lot over and built it with brick instead of wood. To this day, the brick building is still located in downtown Kelowna and is now home to 3 fast food restaurants. During this time to follow, the town of Kelowna had reached a population of about 600 people. By 1905, the orchardist industry in Kelowna had become increasingly popular, due mostly to a new form of irrigation system that allowed farmers to access the upper and lower areas of their land. It was during this time that Kelowna acquired its first Kelowna to Westbank ferry, which was a scow propelled by oars and capable of carrying 3 heavy horses or 5 packed horses. This ferry increased the accessibility to British Columbian coastal regions. The ferry transported back and forth between Kelowna and Westbank every 25 minutes. The people of Kelowna soon realized that they would need another ferry to keep up with the supply and demand of the ever-growing farming industries in Kelowna. On Thursday, May 8, 1939, Kelowna's Pendozzi ferry was launched for the first time. This ferry was capable of transporting 30 vehicles and 150 passengers. The Pendozzi worked long and hard during the Second World War. After the end of the war came the end of gas rations and the increase of ferry traffic. As a result, in May of 1948, a second ferry similar to the Pendozzi was launched. This ferry was called the MV LeQueen. The LeQueen was built in Vancouver, British Columbia, and shipped via train to the Okanagan, where it was reassembled and became a productive member of the ferry systems between Kelowna and Westbank. A third ferry, the Lloyd Jones, was added in 1950 to keep up with the ever-growing demands in Kelowna and Westbank. With all 3 ferries running together, ferry docking times were cut down to every 10 minutes. During the winter months, however, due to the Okanagan Lake freezing over, only 1 ferry at a time was able to run. The MV LeQueen ran from 1946 until July 1958. However, with the opening of Kelowna's new floating bridge, there was no longer a need for the ferries. After 10 years, and with the addition of a paddle wheeler, the MV LeQueen was reborn as the Fintry Queen. The Fintry Queen's main purpose was to transport people from Kelowna to the community of Fintry. However, over the next several decades, the Fintry Queen would undergo many upgrades and additions, including a dining room, lounge, and upper deck, and became an increasingly popular tourist attraction in Kelowna. The Fintry Queen was the largest vessel on Okanagan Lake, and over the next 50 years would serve as a cruise ship that catered to dinners, brunches, sightseeing, moonlit cruises, as well as being available for private conferences, corporate functions, weddings, and other celebrations. The Fintry Queen provided guests with a covered lower deck that offered a dining room experience, dance floor, and lounge. The upper deck offered both an open air and a covered traveling experience. The Fintry Queen ran as a tourist attraction in Kelowna for nearly 50 years and set out on its last public voyage in 2009. After several financial issues, the Fintry Queen was ordered by the courts to be removed in order to continue with the expansion and development of a new marine facility in the downtown core of Kelowna. In 2012, the Fintry Queen was sold to a man by the name of Andy Schwab. On October 11, 2012, the Fintry Queen was taken via tugboat to her new home in Sutherland Bay.